Hey everyone, it's Blake. Welcome in to episode number 9 of our WWE 2024 save and TEW 2020. This is SmackDown for February week 3. Yes, we're a little bit behind trying to stay on track with WWE in reality, but again, you guys know sometimes it just takes me several days to put these shows together. And again, SmackDown is in an interesting spot, at least in this particular save and mod. The mid-card is just, I don't even know what to say about it. Like, it's just a lot of sort of lower ratings for the SmackDown mid-card, so I sort of have to get creative in terms of trying to find ways to get decent enough ratings with at least the mid-card here. But we know we're going to be carried by the main events, Bloodline story, and everything on the road to WrestleMania 40. So you'll see. I think we'll at least still get some good ratings, but the mid-card has been a little bit of a challenge, booking this really, again, all the way through WrestleMania 40, coming up with the matches and all that. But we seem to have a pretty good idea of where we're headed, so let's start this show off with the one and only American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, who arrives, and we see Randy Orton walk up, and these two shake hands, of course, based off the ending of last week's SmackDown, where Orton came to the aid of Cody, and we kind of had them kind of sending the bloodline scurrying a little bit, and Cody has pointed out, on Raw that he is not going to back down from the bloodline. That if Roman Reigns thought that the attack from Solo Sikoa or anything else is going to stop him from challenging Reigns for the world, for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 40, that's not going to happen. So we have these two, we get cameras sort of seeing these two shaking hands and then start to make their walk into the building here. So Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, they're here. And where is the bloodline? We will find out. 92 for this segment. All right, we start things off in the ring, and it is Nick Aldis who is out there, and he has Kevin Owens with him. And you can tell Owens is frustrated. And Aldis says, all right, let's get right to it. Logan Paul, Austin Theory, Grayson Waller, I'd like you to come out, please. And, of course, they don't come out. And Aldis just says, all right, if you're not going to do that, I'm going to fine each of you $50,000 unless you make your way out here. And so then we see, the music hit. They make their way out. They have smirks on their face because we know how last week ended on SmackDown. It was Kevin Owens versus Austin Theory. The stipulation was Theory had to beat Owens, and if he didn't, then Owens was going to get the rematch against Logan Paul for the United States Championship at Elimination Chamber. And so what happened? Logan Paul and Austin Theory thought they were funny and decided that they were going to cause an intentional DQ, as where Logan Paul hit Austin Theory. That caused the intentional DQ, and so Theory technically won the match. So they're all smiles here, and Aldis just says, smile now because you're not going to smile after I make these announcements. He says, for starters, here's what's going to happen in Elimination Chamber. You thought that what you did last week was funny and all of this, well, I call it defying authority. And so, because you decided that you thought you could pull one over on me, you forgot that I'm still the SmackDown general manager, and I make the decisions around here. And since Logan Paul decided to interfere in last week's match, then I think that Kevin Owens should get a little bit of revenge on him, and he's going to do that by challenging you, Logan Paul, for the United States Championship at Elimination Chamber. And so they're losing their minds. They're like, wait a second, that was not the stipulation. And Aldis just says, I don't want to hear any of it, because you should be talking about two of you wrestling tonight, because that's exactly what's going to happen. Austin Theory, congratulations. You get another main event this week on SmackDown. You're going to go one-on-one with Randy Orton. And Waller's looking around like, oh no, like, wow. And then Aldis just says, oh, don't worry, Grayson, I have a match for you too. You're not going to wrestle in the main event. You're going to wrestle right now because you're going to go one-on-one with Kevin Owens. So Owens gets his rematch at Elimination Chamber based on the heels thinking they could pull one over on Aldis. That's not happening. The rematch is on. Kevin Owens versus Logan Paul, United States Championship at Elimination Chamber. And now we're getting Kevin Owens versus Grayson Waller. So really just playing up the heels, being very upset, thinking they had, gotten one over on the general manager, when Aldis just sort of reminds them, think what you want. I'm the general manager. I make the decisions, and this is what we're going to do. So 66 for the segment here. That does lead us into the match. Gets to 63. I thought it'd be a little bit better. Maybe Owens over Waller. 8-10 with the stunner, so little momentum for Kevin Owens there heading into that rematch. And yeah, we see Owens is off his game, so that didn't help a little bit. Waller's still benefiting from being the flavor of the month, so that helps But another victory here as Kevin Owens makes his way towards the rematch with Paul at Elimination Chamber. 63 for this one. And again, we'll have Randy Orton versus Austin Theory later on. All right, now we get an interview with Byron Saxton. He's got Santos Escobar here. And Escobar, Saxton's just asking, look, we've all been hearing about this big meeting you're going to have with Andrade. When's that going to happen? What can we expect? Are you, fully expecting to make him an official member of Legado del Fantasma? And Escobar just says, I don't want to get ahead of myself here, Byron, but I am looking forward to meeting with Andrade after his match tonight. I will be watching closely, and we will have plenty to discuss. And Byron just says, all right, are you going to be meeting with him alone? And Escobar says, yes, I have, Angel and Humberto, they're off on some other business right now. And so I will be meeting with Andrade a little bit later on. So we kind of get official word that we are going to get that meeting between Escobar and Andrade. So kind of your setup here heading into that one. 53 for this segment. All right, now we got a one-on-one match here. It's Naomi and Kairi Sane going one-on-one here. And we get a 59 out of the match, so not great. And it looks like no chemistry here, so that didn't help. Just, you never know, right? So no chemistry in this one. Naomi off her game, too, didn't help. But it is Naomi getting the win in 7:41 after Sane got intentionally disqualified. The story here is that we had Asuka interfere, even though I think I just forgot to put the note in on this one. But Kairi Sane gets disqualified. So we get, the Kabuki Warriors kind of going 2-on-1 here on Naomi. We've got Io Sky ringside. And you can tell Io the entire match is sort of looking around, and we know who she's looking for, right? After everything that happened last week with Bayley. So there's no Bayley, and the Kabuki Boys start to go after Naomi. Again, they're getting intentionally disqualified because it seems like Naomi has all the momentum, but they take the DQ instead in order to prevent the loss. That's kind of the story here. So they all start to, kind of circle Naomi here, and she can tell she's kind of, she's in trouble. 59 for this one. You know what's coming. Here comes Bayley as Damage Control go to try to attack Naomi, but Bayley runs down, and she's able, to get a couple hands in on Kairi Sane and Asuka. Io Sky once again retreats, kind of keeping these two away from each other here. Of course, building to the big match at WrestleMania 40, which we now know is official. Bayley is going to challenge Io Sky after the reveal last week that it was Damage Control who had paid off Nia Jax to attack Bayley on Raw. And so that was, made official. So Bayley comes to the rescue here for Naomi, and, Damage Control just sort of on the outside, once again, kind of viciously staring these two down here as Bayley continues to try to get her revenge on her former stable members here. So 62 for this one. We'll have more to come on something with a development on this one a little bit later. All right. Now we get sort of a video promo here, and it's from AJ Styles. And in Styles, basically just taking aim at LA Knight here. We heard it, recently talking about Styles sort of blaming LA Knight for getting in his way, preventing him from being, the world champion, the WWE undisputed universal champion, whatever it is. So many names you could call it, at the Rumble in the four-way match. So we're just really this is just a, sort of your basic interview from Styles playing up that he should be the champion, that LA Knight got in his way, and he has to now take out LA Knight in order to get back to getting another shot at winning, the universal, undisputed universal championship. I don't know why I cannot get this title's name right half the time, but let's just call it the WWE title. Can we do that? I feel like that's the easiest thing to call it. You got the world title on Raw, the WWE title on SmackDown. Let's just go with that. So that's kind of what we're playing up here, is that Styles is trying to, win the championship, and he's going to take out LA Knight, who got in his way from doing that at the Rumble. So 73 here for this segment on this one. All right, and now, again, that's not a lot of suspense here, I know, but Escobar makes his way out, and, we kind of see him in the back. I'm sorry, he didn't make his way out here. He's watching Andrade make his entrance, and what happens? Andrade comes out for his entrance. We see Escobar kind of watching here, and what does that lead to? Well, it is none other than Andrade calling to the back, and who comes out with him as he's about to make his entrance? It is Zelina Vega. So Escobar fuming here because he knows what that means, right? Andrade has rejoined forces with Zelina Vega, who of course has been part of the LWO, who are the arch enemies of Legado del Fantasma. So yeah, this is not exactly what Escobar was expecting, as Andrade said he would be meeting with Escobar. Well, not sure if that's going to happen now, as we just see Escobar kind of, again, storm off, very angry here, as Andrade has essentially brought back his old manager in Zelina Vega. So we'll get more to come on that. 54 for this one, but the match itself, Andrade gets the win over Kit Wilson, one half of Pretty Deadly, 7:33 with the hammerlock DDT. And so we get the great chemistry notes. I was always going to go back to these two. To me, it just makes the most sense. Put Zelina back with Andrade. So, yeah, that's kind of what we've been building up. But, of course, there's more to come with the whole Escobar part of the story, but this was just one way to kind of develop it for this particular episode. So we'll have more to come, as we said on that, because remember, Escobar did say he had his two cohorts there, Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo off working on something else. So what were they working on? We will find out, perhaps. 58 for this one. All right, now we get Nick Aldis in the back, and he is with Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. And Aldis says that, the Bloodline are not yet here. They've not arrived. I'm not sure where they are, but I know they're not here yet. And he just says, look, guys, I don't have to tell you to, but we all know what's at stake here. We all know how heated this thing has gotten. So, Cody, I'm just going to make a suggestion. I think you should be ringside tonight for Randy's match against Austin Theory. Not because I'm worried about, those two dummies, Logan Paul and Grayson Waller, but you just need to have your eyes, kind of on each other here. You need to be able to have each other's back, because we do everything we can, but you know how the Bloodline is. We've seen what they do. And look, I think there's something to what Jey Uso told you, Cody, on Raw about the Bloodline will do anything to destroy anything they have to keep what they have. And Cody just says, I understand, and whenever they decide to arrive, we'll be waiting on them. So there you go. Just kind of a little, again, maybe a little bit more warning here for Cody, that he needs to be ringside with Randy Orton, because you just don't know where the Bloodline are, what they're going to do. We have no clue. So 80 for this one. All right, now we get Bianca Belair getting the win over Isla Dawn here. 8:22, the Kiss of Death does it. Decent match, 61 for this one. Because, again, Isla Dawn, over in its popularity, not a lot. But Bianca, pretty good stuff here, 67 for the in-ring performance. After the match, we get another discussion here as Bianca with Kayla Braxton. Finally found Kayla. I'm looking for interviewers, and I don't know why I just couldn't find them. I think it had something to do with the brand split or something. But so Kayla asked Bianca, Bianca, now we know, it'd been kind of a big question if you were going to maybe get an opportunity to challenge for the SmackDown Women's Championship. You now know you're not going to be able to do that, because Bayley has decided to choose Io Sky and face her for the SmackDown Women's Championship as the winner of the Royal Rumble at WrestleMania 40. And, Bianca just sort of responds and says, Bayley and I have obviously had our history. I don't think we'll be friends anytime soon, but I do know that Bayley probably made the right decision. I think she did the right thing, given what her former partners were doing to her and what they were trying to do behind her back. But it does put me in a spot to where I will not be challenging for, the SmackDown Women's Championship now at WrestleMania. And so, as I've said the past couple weeks, I have to come up with a new plan. I have to work on another way to make history. I have to work on another way to perhaps put myself in a position to be near the main event of WrestleMania. And so I'm still working on it, Kayla, and I know that I will figure it out to make sure that WrestleMania gets exactly what it needs this year, and that's a little bit of EST. So Bianca saying that, obviously she's not going to get that opportunity that we thought she may be able to get had Bayley challenge Rhea Ripley. And so she's working on another plan. What is that plan? We will find out. Perhaps at some point. 60 for this segment. All right, now we get an announcement next week. It's going to be Bobby Lashley versus Karrion Kross. When I talk about the SmackDown, mid-card and all this other stuff, it's not that I have ideas for these guys. It's just the popularity and all that, with some of these guys are just not maybe what I thought it was. And you've also got kind of the face-heel alignments where when we started this mod, Lashley's still a heel. The Street Profits are still heels, which are they? I don't think they are at this point. So it's kind of so I don't know. We're working on ways to sort of get everybody turned to the right face heel dynamic that they need. And so we did the big 6-man tag last week, but we are going to do kind of the one-on-one match between Lashley and Karrion Kross next week, 62. But we got a tag team match that can happen within this feud, and that is the Street Profits versus AOP. And so we do that one next here. Again, these are heels versus heels because they're still listed as heels in this particular mod. The Profits get the win over AOP, 756. Montez Ford pins Akam with a frog splash. 62 for this one. Razor off his game. We get the tag team specialist bonuses, so that helps. But yeah, I've got ideas for some of these guys. If you watch the WWE 2021 save, you probably know which guys in particular I definitely focused on quite a bit. But yeah, for now, we've got to get through this feud because I need to get to the next thing with some of these guys. So that's just kind of what we're doing. A little bit of a holding pattern for some of these guys in particular. Once we get everybody kind of where they need to be and all that, we will kind of amp things up a little bit with some of these guys in particular. 62 for this one. All right, now we get backstage, and it is Kayla Braxton who is with Bayley, and she's also with Naomi here. And that is when, Kayla just goes to ask Bayley a question. She says, Kayla, I love you, but I have no time for anything other than to say this right now. I'm pissed off. I'm tired of all the disrespect. Io, I'm coming after you at WrestleMania 40, and I'm going to win that SmackDown Women's Championship. But we have a challenge for Damage CTRL for Elimination Chamber. Me, my good friend Naomi, who just made her way back, and we're going to have a partner. Us three versus you three. Io, Asuka, Kairi. Accept the challenge. 6-woman tag, Elimination Chamber. We'll be there. Will you? And so Bayley just kind of all business here as she lays down the gauntlet. She wants a 6-woman tag. Bayley, Naomi, a partner to be named later against Damage CTRL. Will we see Damage CTRL accept the challenge? We will find out. 55 for this segment. All right, now we get kind of the rebuttal here from LA Knight, and he says, all I've heard is AJ Styles whining. I hear him whining about how I cost him a shot at the World Championship, and I don't really care because I finish my business in the ring. I don't sit back and talk and blame everybody else. I go in the ring and I handle my business. And Knight just says, if that's what AJ Styles wants to do, we'll handle our business at Elimination Chamber, and I'll show him the reason why he's not the champion is because the next person in line is going to be LA Knight. So LA Knight basically, again, kind of sort of calling his shot here that he will be the next person perhaps to be, a WWE or world champion. And so these two kind of having the same goals here, but feel like each are kind of in each other's way to get to that goal. So, yeah, we know we're getting this match at Elimination Chamber, so kind of the promo exchange here from these two, 75 for the segment. All right, that gets us to our main event. It is Randy Orton getting the win over Austin Theory in 12-19 with the RKO. So, once again, Logan Paul's heel group, they thought they were funny earlier on. They thought they were funny at the end of last week's SmackDown. Well, Kevin Owens beat Grayson Waller. Randy Orton beats Austin Theory with the RKO 71. So, pretty good match here. Decent stuff overall. And so, that is kind of what we get here, is Randy Orton getting the win over Austin Theory. And then, we haven't seen him on this show, right? Like, we've not seen the Bloodline on this show. But here they are. So, here come the Bloodline. We see Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, Paul Heyman. But once again, there is someone missing. Where is Solo Sikoa? And so, you can see Cody and Orton, they're in the ring, they're ready for a fight, right? Cody's ripped off the jacket, he's ready to go. He's ready for a fight here. Orton's ready to go. And, we see Paul Heyman just say, slow down, Cody, slow down. The tribal chief has something to say. And, again, this gets a 90 for the segment. And Roman just says, Cody, like, let's calm down a little bit here. It's okay. Everything's going to be okay. You've made your decision. You've decided to challenge me, and that's fine. We all know how it ends. We all know how the story ends for you. and he says, "But you know what? We've been working on something for you, Cody. We've been working on something special. And if you're wondering why Solo's not here right now, it's because we've got him on the job. He is working on something really special. Paul Heyman told you on Raw on Monday that he'd have something for you, something really special. And here's what we have for you, Cody. It's all about finishing your story, right? You will do anything to finish your story. That's all you talk about. That's all you care about. You'll put anybody in harm's way, maybe Randy Orton, maybe someone else, just to make sure that you get the opportunity to finish your story. Because, Cody, you've always been spoiled. You've always been Daddy's favorite son. Dusty loved you more than anything in this world. And there's someone that knows that better than anybody. And Cody, Daddy's not here to save you or him. And as Roman says that, we see the commotion coming from the side here. They're not coming from the back, because this is not something where we would just bring these guys from the back. It is Solo Sikoa. And he has someone, his arm around someone here. He's pulling him over. And we see that this person's face has been shielded. And as Solo gets up on the stage, on the aisle here, behind Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso, the face is shielded no more. And it is Dustin Rhodes, who turns around, and we can tell that Dustin has taken a few hits here. He's got some blood coming from his head. Solo, then, as Cody just essentially stunned in the ring, he doesn't even know how to react. In that split second, Solo hits the spike on Dustin. He's already been beaten down, apparently, given the blood coming from his head here. Hits the spike, and that is when the Bloodline get out of there in a hurry. 80 for the segment here, and then we get Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton sprinting their way up here. Basically, Solo has thrown Dustin down the aisle, so instead of going after the Bloodline, Dustin's kind of in the middle of them here. So Cody and Randy, they stop to check on Dustin here, and that is how we go off the air with Roman Reigns kind of staring back down at Cody, who is just, he doesn't even know what to do right now, as Dustin Rhodes is on SmackDown, and he has been taken out by Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline here, as that is how we finish up this edition of SmackDown. 93 for the segment here, and again, the stakes have been raised even further. 80 overall for this particular show. Not a great show by any means, but again, the mid-card is going to drag this down a little bit, but we got a lot out of our big segments here. And yes, what happens now that we have Dustin Rhodes added to the story on the road to WrestleMania 40? The Bloodline will do anything. That was Jay's warning. Nick Aldis gave the warning. Turns out they were right. They have gone after Cody's own flesh and blood, Dustin Rhodes, here on SmackDown. All right, let's see what we get to before we wrap up. All right, so that was SmackDown. Something you're going to notice quickly here is that a positive show, most like the majority of it. If you see this, it's going to say Sunday. I taped it on Saturday this week. Why? Because the contract of Dustin Rhodes did not begin until Saturday. So luckily it worked out to where I can move it one day forward. So we just had to tape SmackDown on Saturday this week instead of Friday. So we could get Dustin in there. So that was the big thing that we needed to do on that. So positive show. But of course the big reveal, the Bloodline are stopping at nothing to basically stack the deck against Cody heading into WrestleMania 40. MJF plans. Okay, so the AEW has decided to push MJF as the face of the company, the new face of the company. All right, well, that's probably smart. Jon Moxley going to feud with Adam Copeland. Okay. Bryan Danielson versus Chris Jericho. All right. Lot of WWE flavor in there. Best friends lose a member. Oh no, Orange Cassidy out of the group. Yikes! No longer best friends. So there you go. That's your AEW update. in this particular save here, male-wise, just want to let you know, too, I have had to shelf main event for the time being. I will bring it back, but listen, as I said, I'm trying to work through getting everybody on both of these shows the way I need them to in terms of changing a bunch of gimmicks and all this kind of stuff. So I just wanted to note that. I am not doing main event at this right now because I don't want to get burnt out, and it's already taken a little bit longer than I wanted to book some of these shows. So for now, even though we don't really discuss main event anyways, so it's not like it probably matters that much to you guys, but I'm just going to hold off on main event for now until we kind of get in a little bit more of a rhythm, which I think will come probably right after WrestleMania 40, because then we're going to, look at some ideas for drafts and all this other stuff. But for now, I need to move a little bit quicker with some of these episodes. And so I know it's like, hey, you're just booking a main event, you can use Auto Booker. Yeah, it just doesn't always work out great, though, with that. So anyways, that's where we are. With that was SmackDown, a huge development. Dustin Rhodes is in WWE again, and the Bloodline have gotten to him to ignite this family feud here between the Bloodline and the Rhodeses. So what will that lead to? We'll find out. But for now, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out everything else on the channel. I've got some other stuff in the works here. I'm just going to let you guys know. I'm also thinking about, I kind of want to do sort of a retro save of some sort. I know we did the WCW 1998 save at one point as well, and I know some people are still wanting that to come back. We had some pretty fun ideas for that. I'm not going to lie, but that was a mod that I don't think really, it was done initially, but then I don't think it's kind of being worked on anymore. So I'm a little hesitant because I don't know how it would play out in terms of doing a long-term save. But there's some other options that I'm intrigued by. Like, there's a great 1992 mod. There are great 2004 mods. There are great, other mods too, kind of in a similar time period. Like even the 2013 when the Yes mod or whatever. There are a lot of fun ideas that I don't know. Like I always need something a little bit different to play off of. And we've got kind of the two active saves right now, 2024 WWE and the TCW save in the C-verse. So any ideas you guys want to see, let me know. But we might look at some ideas for doing some of those saves at some point too. So and there's another one. There's another big sort of what if save out there that I told you guys last year. I actually recorded the introduction episode of a new save. I recorded it last June, and I just never released it. But it is a kind of retro save, and I think it's one that would be interesting. So maybe we go that direction. But curious to know what you guys think on that. Let me know. But yeah, always looking for new ideas to kind of just, again, have some more options to have some fun with TEW 2020. So appreciate you watching as always. Let me know what you thought about the big development, the big angle on this week's edition of SmackDown. And on the next episode of our WWE 2024 save, it will be the go-home edition of Raw for February Week 4 before Elimination Chamber.